Al-Aswad, who's a pro-democracy activist. He's based in Chicago. Mr. Al-Aswad, thank you very much for joining us. How far will the protesters take this?
Excuse me, I couldn't hear your question really well.
Let me put that to you again, sir. How far do you think the protesters will go in Syria?
Well, I just talked to two of the protesters about an hour ago. I was able to get through. Finally, the cell phone lines are working, and they're working temporarily and sporadically. And from what I understand from talking yesterday to people, talking to my family members, and talking to people on the streets, they actually telling me they're going to go all the way. They are willing to die for their country and for their freedom. And I feel the same myself. If I wasn't more beneficial for them being here and speaking to you guys and the media and taking their voice to the international community and describing the crimes against humanity which committed by Mr. al-Assad's regime, I would have been there. And to die or live with them in a free country.
So it seems likely from what you're saying there will be more deaths, more lives to be lost. Let me ask you another question about what happens next if Bashar al-Assad stands down, if the regime is pushed aside. Some people are expressing fears about the rise of Islamism in Syria.
I would like to assure the international community and ask them to just to listen to the calls of the people, of the demonstrators in Daraa. Those people, they are teenagers, people in their 20s, they are educated, they are unemployed. All what they called for is end of corruption and end of the emergency laws imposed in the country since 1963. As you know, the Middle Eastern community and the Syrian community and the Arab community is a religious community, but that doesn't mean that they want mullahs or sheikhs or the religious institution to take over. They all freedom lovers. Their role models is the Western democracies now, and their role models are not any of them are religious institutions or religious governments. They're not looking to build an Iran, or they're not looking to have Saudi Arabia. They wanted freedom. And believe me, what they've been telling me, they tasted freedom and they're willing to die for it.
Khaldoon Al-Aswad, pro-democracy activist in Chicago. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.